Bitcoin is trying to form a weekly uptrend all in one candle. It's going to be exciting. However, the last time that Bitcoin's weekly candle had a very integral closure around the weekly 55 EMA, it was a fake out. So let's go dive in these charts and figure out, how do we know if this is going to be a fake out or not, or when do our probabilities of fake out versus continuation, when do they start changing? When are we in favor? Let's go dive in.
Hit the like button.
And subscribe.
Or else, let's go! You are seeing a year of price action on Bitcoin right now. We have lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher low. I'm sorry, not a higher high, a lower high, but then a higher low, now a higher high. This could be a higher high, but this week is a long way from closing. Therefore, if I put on something to the effect of a lower time frame and throw on these EMAs that are of key importance, the weekly 55 being one, and I have marked off the box that is the exact area in which the week needs to close over. The specific line that this needs to close over is 42,420. 42,420. Any weekly closure above this box, the week will be in a weekly uptrend. You need this box on your chart, or at least a line at 42,420. Another box of great importance that you might want to have on your chart this week is right here. This one comes in at almost exactly 42K even. That is a CME gap fill. If we go to Bitcoin's CME chart, you can see here that there is a gap. And you might say, oh, they don't have to be filled. Yes, that's true. However, I was ranting and raving about this last gap fill, right? Did it take longer than I expected? It absolutely did. But on average, more than 50% of CME gap fills are filled within that next week. Therefore, it's statistically very likely that that yellow box is going to be hit this week. Does it have to be hit this week? No. There are anomalies, or simply the law of averages. We could have two in a row that take over a week to fill. It's completely possible, but you need to keep your eye on that. Therefore, we have two boxes on the chart that are of prime importance leading up, in the first week of March. Let's go back to the normal spot chart here. Therefore, these boxes are almost essentially on top of each other. Therefore, this whole range is going to be an area of interest. However, this white box is not going to come in play. Again, the white box is 42,420. This white box will be more relevant near the week's end, and the week's end, New York time, Sunday at 7 p.m. right now. But intra week, if you could catch a dip on whatever, if you are short-term time frame more bullish or mid-term time frame bullish, then if that describes you, then this could be a good pickup for your efforts. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are simply two key areas to look out for. Let's throw on the monthly 10 EMA. And the monthly 10 EMA right now is this white line. I will go ahead and take off these. I will take off the white box right there. Because we're not near the end of the week, therefore I'm more short-term time frame looking for a pullback this week into the CME gap fill. And we can see that the monthly 10 EMA, the white line, is still acting as resistance. Look at this. Still acting as resistance. It was the resistance. It's been a resistance for almost a month. This is back from February 7th over here. February 7th. Bitcoin price has not closed, a significant candle over there. That definitely does spell trouble. However, that does not mean Bitcoin can't come close this gap, then get right back in above the weekly 55, which is this blue line, and the weekly 10 is also over there. Look, weekly 10. So it could come back down, both fill the gap in the yellow, but see this red line here? That's the weekly 10. It could also retest the weekly 10, which is extremely healthy. Almost everybody on my channel knows that. And then it could give it another try to get above the monthly 10, this white, maybe consolidate for a little bit, and then bust above and hit higher targets closer up to the 46K range, which is denoted by that rectangle right there, or the next target up even is the 48K level, and these boxes are on the bottom and the top of the macro, so 1 year long range, tilted macro range, 46K and 48K would be my next two upper targets. If indeed we can get a backfill from the CMA gap plus a bounce. Again, I am not guaranteeing you get a bounce from there. However, that would be the play that I look for before any further upside happens. Am I making sense? Before 46K is hit, I would expect the CMA gap to be filled at this point. Turn on your camera and microphone and ask me questions directly live up to 8 times a week. Again, directly to my face with your camera on. Links to the Discord community within the description section of all my videos. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward. And if online communities are not your thing, but you want exclusive content above and beyond what I offer on YouTube, go ahead and click the join button that's right below this video and another video pop up describing your options to you. Going back to the weekly chart here, there is something to consider. In terms of, will this be a fake out? I'm going to take off all EMAs except the weekly 55. Let me get rid of my rectangles. All right. Although a weekly uptrend can be established with a higher low and a higher high, should this week, New York time 7 p.m. on Sunday, if it closes above 42,420, that's a weekly uptrend. However, look, it's on the blue line. Where did the last major whale game fake out happen? At the blue line. Right there. Not only did the same crypto cartel or whoever was managing and massaging price, and remember the stock market was going up this whole time. This was a coordinated attack on Bitcoin price for accumulation efforts, whatever. It's pretty much, it's all but confirmed, right? We just can't go hunt the people down and figure out, did you actually do it and get them to confess? But it's all but confirmed, right? But that same idea is let's zoom into this area. The last major fake out happened at this blue line, specifically the same entities or whoever was, massaging price or whatever coordination event was, drove price specifically to close below the week below the blue line, drive price down 2 more days, and then get a bunch of people short, because traditionally that's a very bearish signal. To drive it down 2 days even more to get more and more people to short, especially crossing trend lines, and then turning it the other way, that was a major, major whale-driven fake out. I want you to be aware, you're going to see a bunch of stink on YouTube and everything, could get you extremely bullish, which traditionally, a change in a weekly uptrend should get you very bullish. But I want you to remember, even I would go from midterm time frame bearish, so a down candle, go from bearish midterm to neutral because of that specific skepticism. Do you have to share those thoughts? No. But if you become full bullish, hearing a bunch of crypto Twitter, crypto YouTube information out there, oh, it's a weekly uptrend. Okay, that is a good reason to be more bullish than you were prior. However, just know the last fake out happened on this line, folks. Okay, it did. And you would probably want to be reserved until a monthly closure happens above that white line, okay? I'm telling you, this weekly uptrend, although it would be exciting, I want you to keep your bullishness postured in a reserved or defensive manner, because we are still dealing with this line. The market is not truly going to change until the month of April. April 1st starts a candle above that white line. I'm telling you. And again, this week, if I had to make a guess, all right, it's probably going to close. I'd say it's going to close below this white line. Now, if it does close above this white line, I might actually flip bullish in that case. But what could be super tricky is a closure just above this 42,420 area, which would make an uptrend, but below the blue line, the weekly 55. So you could zoom way in here and do something to this effect. A weekly closure in here, I would be extremely, or actually right here. And let's put on the 1 hour time frame. See how that blue line's right there? This is the exact weekly closure area. If the week happens to close exactly in that box, I would be extremely skeptical. And I honestly might keep my midterm time frame, I might keep it bearish. However, if a week can close above both the box, which indicates it's a weekly uptrend, and the weekly 55, I would definitely be midterm time frame neutral with a decent dose of skepticism. But any weekly closure below, let's call it below 42.9, if the week closes, the weekly closes below at 42.9 or lower, I am probably going to keep my midterm time frame outlook bearish with a strong willingness or preparedness to flip it neutral depending on how the beginning of the next week goes. That's how I would manage my emotions in that case. It could get very tricky. Just remember, you're going to hear a lot of noise out on crypto, Twitter, crypto, YouTube, but again, it could be a fake out because the last time it played with this blue line, it was a fake out. Please don't forget that. And the most important thing to remember is, in terms of your overall crypto bullishness, April 1st is the key. A monthly closure above that white line is key because March, take a look. March could come all the way up to even 52K. Look, it has time to get all the, this is not an aggressive, let's go to the 4-hour chart. Look, March could get extremely bullish, folks. And again, that's why I'm short-term time frame bullish. I've been saying that for, I don't know, probably a week now. Roughly a week. It could come up all the way to 52, 53. Look. I might have to smash this together a little bit more. Come all the way up to 52 or 53K. And still in the nick of time, even though that technically is April 5th, I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller. It absolutely has time to do this, folks. I didn't pay attention to the dates as I was drawing it. And right around April 1st or March 30th or so, March 31st, comes straight back down right at the end of the month. And you know how I know it could possibly do that? Because what did the end of February do? Let's look. Remember what the end of February did? Look. Right here. This is the last 4-hour candle of February. Second to last, third to last. February was all bearish until the last 3-4-hour candles, and it tried to close above. It did actually for a hot second. Oh, no, it didn't. I thought it did for a second, but it got super close. The last 12 hours of February almost got a monthly closure above that line when the month was red and suppressed the whole time. The whole, most of March can be bullish. If the end of February can flip bullish in a 12 hours, the last 2 days of March can be bearish to drive price down right below this white line. I'm telling you, it could even happen. It could easily happen. It could easily happen. That's why April 1st is going to be the key from a personal perspective on if I become bullish from a midterm time frame perspective or not. I'm simply refuse to do it until a monthly closure above that line because I know Bitcoin could have a really nasty fake out. Some nasty fake outs and dead cat bounces have happened in similar market segments of Bitcoin. Be very careful and be skeptical. Even if you decide to be bullish, which is on a midterm time frame basis, which is fine, please keep a dose of skepticism and defensiveness on it. I implore you. That's the main point of this video. If you liked what you saw, click this video. If you're new in crypto and you want to learn how to set up a chart just like mine to improve your crypto journey, click this playlist right here. If you want to understand better how and why price moves the way it does, click the circle in the middle. If you're new to my channel, you just got 𝐶𝐻𝑚ified worldwide. Peace.